Yo, what's up? Welcome to Aspect Slant of a Changing Man. I go by the name of Gold, and that's who's bringing you another episode. I'd like to thank everybody for their support. You know what I'm saying? Keeping me going, asking me if I'm still doing it, asking me if I'm going to continue doing it, asking me what my next subject is. It's very motivational to sit here and have people actually enjoy or wonder if this is actually continuing. Again, if you want to hit me up, it's always mplsmikid@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. Facebook. The Facebook got changed into Gold Washington at Facebook. That'll be where the podcast. You can reach me on the podcast tip. Um, Anything else? You can go ahead and hit me up if you want to talk about a topic or whatever else is going on. Um, well, today I had a couple of things that might go into it, what's been happening in the world today, and it's kind of funny because if you look at the situations that have arisen, one of them was Dwayne Wade Son actually coming out and saying that he wants to be uh, Zaya instead of Zaire, and that's been a big uproar for a lot of people. Mainly because of the fact that the child is only 12, and when it comes to that situation, it's kind of true. You know what I'm saying? He's only 12 years old, so in a sense of when I was 12 years old, I didn't know what I wanted to be. There were still mistakes to be made. There were still things that was happening that I wanted to decide on. If I wanted to, I couldn't even decide on what I wanted to be when I grew up. So to have it's just funny. It's not funny as far as the situation, but it's funny as far as like how far people are willing to take their situation for a 12-year-old kid or for a situation. It seems as if somehow Dwayne Wade feels like he made a mistake. And because he made a mistake, um, being around a situation or something happened to where now he's feeling like he has to live with it, or is deciding that we're gonna get this up early, and we're just gonna live with the situation that we probably have set ourselves up with. For me, if I looked at the situation, I would say that would be the case for me. Hey, I've had a daughter actually come out and tell me that she had a girlfriend, and I told her, you know, being 11 years old, when she told me this, it was kind of like, oh man, that's a hit. But I had to realize she's 11 years old. She hasn't really decided what she wants to do yet. She is going through a rough time, me being in a different state, her being in a situation where, you want your dad around, but he's not always able to be around. So having someone support you in a way where you feel like they're wanted, you're wanted, you're seeing adult situations, and with adult situations comes kids wanting to be grown or wanting to experience what adulthood is. And I'll tell you this much: kids don't know. I didn't know. I was there was a lot of situations where I sat there and I said to myself, I can't wait till I turn 18. I can't wait to be grown because I'm going to do this and this is what I'm going to do and all this other stuff. And when I became that age and situations started to hit me and responsibilities started to hit me in the head, and consistency was something that I had to be to stay in the way that I wanted to be, oh, it was very hectic. It was not what I thought that it was going to be. So it was like, what do we want to do here? What do we do here as adults? Where do we go from here? Like, once you hear that situation, it's like, oh man, what? we've talked about like if this happened, but now it's actually happened. Like, what are we supposed to do now? And with the situation, I told her, with my situation, I told her, you're not old enough to decide that. I talked to her like, hey man, you can either be an adult in the mind or you could be a princess. And then one thing was, she decided she wanted to be a princess. So I was like, hey, if you want to be a princess, you can't do those types of things because that's not what princesses do. You got to decide which one you want to do to handle your situation, to handle the situation for where you're going in the future. Which it was decided. I talked to the mom, and I talked to, her mom, and we decided that we were going to stay in talks with the situation, but it was not one that we were okay with being continuing as far as the situation. So it it just it just hits down upon the whole aspect of it's here now. It's in your backyard. What do you do? We live at a time where situations are always able to be talked about until they actually hit the backyard, until they're actually in your yard. Now you have to deal with it. Once you see, if you see the situations on the outside, you can always talk about it. But now that it hits you, now that it's actually there, like, what do you do? Where is this going to go? Like, how is it? Now it's game time. Instead of, being able to be on the sideline, you're actually in the game now. So now it's time to react. Now it's time to think. Now it's time to take care of the people that are around you within the situation. It's the one thing that I've been trying to deal with is as myself is not try to deal with situations by thinking of how better I am than another person, but actually thinking about how I can better myself. Because I can be as confident as I want, and as long as it doesn't come to a problem, or it doesn't come as stress to somebody else's confidence, as far as us being in a situation where there's no competition. I can understand when you're in sports and it's trash talking and all that other stuff. That's fine, but and life is not all of a competition. One person that you're competing with, if you always want to compete with, is yourself. Your yesterday, your past. How can I be better yesterday than I did? How can I be better today than I did yesterday? How can I do more or do better? It's kind of hard because you get stuck in situations where you aren't really able to live like you want to, as far as situations being better than yesterday and all that, all the stuff that you think that you can do to make it. You have an amazing day yesterday, and you look at today and you're like, man, I gotta do more, I gotta be better. But how do I be better when I just had that so amazing day? And then situations hit you to where you feel some type of way. How do I stay calm in situations where people need me to? How do I not be so angry about a situation where I need to be calm? That was a situation that I dealt with when she told me that, was I can't get mad about a situation. I can't overreact when she needs me to stay calm, so that she's able to see, like, I'm not mad at you for this decision. I'm disappointed, but I'm not mad. So to this, I can still talk to you without trying to angrily push you in a direction, thinking that it's going to go one way when it actually goes another. Not to be friendly, but to be not to be your friend, but to be your friend. how do I be, how am I the adult but also the friend at the same time? How can I fix this to where the next subject to where if it's a problem, you can actually come to me? I didn't feel like in my life I could go to a lot of people and tell a lot of people stuff about me. I really don't have someone that everything is able to be released or talked about or explained to. I just sit back and I relax. I just, sometimes hold it in and try to figure it out myself. You know, it kind of hurts, but at the same time, it builds me up. But how do I do it for another person that probably needs to hear the situation that I'm not able to explain, and I'm not wanting to explain in that type of way? Yeah, I think that's what you actually like. What they had to deal with. Like, we've made this life. It's became something that we've actually had to deal with. So now we're here. So what do we do now? And I think his take was, I can either act like that, or I can let him live. And for me, I was like, you're going to live, but you're going to live in the way that you want to. It's not a decision upon, it's not a decision upon me just telling you how to do it, because I wouldn't want somebody telling me how to do it. I wouldn't want somebody telling me what I can and cannot do. I would want them to talk me into if I want to or not, and what's the consequences of actually having to do those situations. I didn't have a lot of that growing up, so knowing that that is a situation that I would want, I try to give it to the people that had taught to me. Anybody, kids or adults, I can't tell you. As another human being, I can't tell you. I probably make it worse by trying to tell you what to do. But what I can do is try to make it so that you're able to see not only the good but the bad in the situations. A lot of that I have to really go off of on my own today. A lot of people don't know a lot of situations that I go into, and I don't mean as in like me not telling them, but the knowledge of the situations that I'm going into, a lot of people don't understand, because there's not really anybody that I know that I've come in contact with that has been in that type of in the type of situations that I am putting myself into to try to experience and make myself into the person that I want to be. But this is all as an adult. So imagine that being in a kid. You're trying to become somebody, but here it is. You don't even understand like how life is going to hit you in a couple of years, and in some time. How are you going to feel when it actually is that time to actually decide, and the decision that you made before is not one that you want to make at the later time? It's just a crazy it's just a crazy situation. It's one that is very judgmental, very very easy to judge from the outside. It's not judgmental, but it's easy to judge from the outside. It's easy to say, this is what I feel, this is how I would do it, what is going on, but like until it's really in your backyard, until you actually have to experience it, it's not one that you really know the game plan to. Well, that's been Aspect Slant over Changing Man, and you can always hit me up, let me know what you think. If you want to hear something or my opinion upon a certain subject or something that's going on, you can always hit me up, let me know, and I'll see you on the next episode.